Not tomorrow, but the day after is Toma the First. Toma the First in Sigil is a day called Toma's Resolution, which would be essentially the analog of our own New Year's resolution. Toma the Second is a day called Toma's Regret, which is a celebration of all the broken resolutions throughout the City of Doors. So that's what's coming up in a couple of days here. When we left off, Kelian lost everything.
Yep.
And then went to a great party and stole basically nothing. I actually titled last week's archive on YouTube "A Killer Party" in your honor.
Yeah.
Because I feel that was really the strength of the session there.
Yeah.
Mahogany, you had put on a class at the gymnasium, and a bunch of cultists showed up and learned how to make wooden medallions, many of which were in the likeness of who they call the jailer, but who anybody with eyes can look at and see as the Lady of Pain.
How good were the medallions?
They varied in quality.
Well, the ones who had shitty medallions, I would have told them, like, I don't know if this has turned out for you. Like, the quality of your medallion might say that you're not really suited for this.
Ciclon.
Hey.
The ball breaker came back into town.
He did.
And told you he was searching for Discordance.
Discordance, the Tiefling lady from the Poets of Distortion, yes.
But as of yet has been unable to locate her.
And I definitely would have passed that on to Riot.
And Riot, you started a new band with a couple of ghosts.
Mm-hmm. The Howling Phantons.
Then made a deal with a Dustman for part of their wispy, ghostly essence spun onto a wooden spindle.
Yeah. And in return, he gave me a clue to get onto Mount Celestia, and the clue is just the word Bahamut.
Yes.
That doesn't seem like a good trade. I'm just...
Yeah, he told you he would give you a name that would lead you to a shortcut to the 4th layer of Mount Celestia, and the name was Bahamut.
Right.
So, let's go down the list with morning actions on the 37th. Riot.
Riot is going to go and see if she can find Discordance. Pay her a friendly visit.
And where are you going to look for her?
What was I told about her?
You just heard that she was back in town.
Okay.
And that Ballbreaker had been able to get in touch with her.
Well, I know she was back when she was in my band. It was a band of sensates, as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go and ask around the sensate fest hall.
Okay, go ahead and put yourself on the fest hall, so I'll remember when I come back to you.
Okay.
What is Kelian doing this morning?
Kelian is leveling up / meditating / fantasizing all the ways he can kill Rowan Darkwood.
Where is he doing this?
In his inn room.
At the typical Prince Inn.
Yeah.
Is that your meditation?
Yes.
Fantasizes about killing people.
What about Ciclon?
Ciclon is praying with Father Mondo and doing that kind of stuff in the near the boundary.
In order to level up?
Yeah, that is going to be level up for me.
Where is the fest hall? I forgot.
It's in the clerk ward. And what about Mahogany?
Oh, here it is.
Regarding my classes, how often can I rent a room?
As often as there's an open room. I mean, they do scheduling at the gymnasium, but the ciphers have preference. So if you schedule a room that's in use by somebody else who's not a cipher, they just give it to you.
All right, I'll probably schedule it like every week or so. And then if I ever just don't show up, I mean, I clearly wasn't meant to be there, so that's fine.
And they'll just use the room for something else.
Right.
So
and
what do you do?
I think I'm going to be looking up information on that cult. I'm curious about it.
Okay, and where are you going to be doing that?
Do the ciphers have any kind of, like, knowledge library or anything like that?
They do not know. They're not the kind of people that write things down.
I wouldn't have thought they did. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have no idea where I would find something like that, so I'm going to go ask people. That seems like the best way to be. And the people that I know that aren't ciphers are in the bazaar. So I'm going to go ask the people in the bazaar if they've ever heard anything about it.
All right. I just want you to know that when I type down the actions, I only have 6 character spaces. So when I can't type out Mahogany, so I just type Mahog. So in all my notes, your character's name is just Mahog.
That's fine.
Okay, just wanted you, like, don't be offended if I just accidentally call you Mahog one of these days.
Oh, also, since I decided it after we ended the session, I should probably go into my new bond.
Which is?
Which was that I'll become a... What did you say that they were called? A factotum of the ciphers.
Okay.
And in the way that Mahogany would word that as his bond is, I'm supposed to be a factotum of the ciphers. I think I wrote it down as I become a factotum of the ciphers on my sheet.
Okay. Let me make a quick note of that. So who do I want to start with here? Mahogany.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling to the bazaar in the morning. You open up, leave the shop, lock it up. And you realize as you're walking down the road towards the bazaar to begin your research that some of the students from your class, 5 or 6 of these monks, are following you.
Okay.
Not 5 or 6. We're going to say 3.
And I'll turn around and go talk to them.
When they notice that you've noticed them, they close the distance. And it's 2 humans, and the third one is a female air Genasi.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say to them?
And I'm just going to ask them, why are you following me?
And she explains that the monks were so... some of the monks, not all of the students, but these 3 in particular, were so inspired by what you taught them in the class that they've decided to observe you and watch how you personify the cult's ideals during your daily life.
Alright, well, watching how they observe me should give me way more information than asking other people their opinions of cult. So, I'm going to change my mind and head to the, back to the shop, and I'm just going to start working on some, projects.
So do you allow them to come into the shop?
Yeah.
Do you give them anything to do?
If they ask me for something to do, I'll give them stuff to do. Otherwise, they'll know what they should be doing.
They seem content just to observe. So what
These are ciphers, right? Because they were
yes,
hanging around in the gymnasium. So yeah, they'll know what they should be up.
Okay. And despite your best efforts to kind of be nonchalant about it, their presence is a little uncomfortable after a while. They don't say anything, they don't do anything, they just are watching you with what looks like reverence.
If that's what they should be doing.
And all 3 of them are wearing the wooden medallions that they made in your class.
How good are they?
Make some quick rolls here.
Okay, so I can hear you guys now. Can you hear me?
Yes, well,
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yep,
can.
you sound great.
Awesome.
My headset failed, so I just plugged in my earbuds underneath it, and friggin' thing.
Wearing the 2
Give me a
headsets. Yeah.
Yep.
I recorded a lot of LPs like that. One headset over the ears, another one around the neck for the microphone.
Yep. That's exactly what I am doing.
Lovely.
That's immoral, but that.
Hey man, you gots to do what you gots to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was thinking the other one is I'd have to run to Best Buy and buy a new headset. I don't want to do that on Easter. Even though they're open on.
Anyway,
I can tell you what headset not to buy.
To answer your question, Mahogany, the Genasi and one of the human, theirs are abysmal. Like, you can only barely see the resemblance in the medallion. They're basically just circles of wood with a couple of notches carved to kind of resemble a face and the halo of blades that the Lady of Pain is known for. The other human, his is immaculate. We're talking natural 20 immaculate.
Alright, then I'm going to start talking to him as if he's the leader of the group.
Okay.
Because he's clearly the one that shows the most calling for the group. And I'm going to say, what about it calls you like it doesn't call your companions here?
And he doesn't respond. Instead, he kind of looks over at the Genasi, who speaks for him. And she says, clearly, working with the wood, with our hands, or with your hands, is incidental. It's the ideals that we're more interested in watching. What the woodworking represents.
That Mahogany's fused at that, because that's what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He says, of course the quality of the medallion is what matters. It's the steps that you took to get there don't matter, but if they were meant to come out well, they'd have. And yours, and he'll kind of wave it. I'm worried that you're not suited for this light you're choosing.
When you say that the process of creating them doesn't matter, if it's supposed to be a good medallion, it will come out that way. As soon as you say the process isn't what matters, she clasps her hands together like you've just twigged to what she's been saying. She says, conscious thought, we're taught, is itself a sort of prison, a prison of the mind. And watching you work the way you do, without measuring, without regard, just watching the work come together as though it was meant to be. It's a sight to behold, and we believe you have much to teach us.
And I'm going to respond that if you're to learn anything from watching me, feel free to do so. I wouldn't want to impede on your journey to your own personal truth.
And what are you working on, by the way? What is it you're building?
I think I'm going to be working on that project that I decided to work on, which was using the woods that I've been collecting from each region to build a musical instrument indicative of that region.
Okay.
So since I have that pandemonium wood, I'm building a woodwind instrument that if you brought it to pandemonium and let the winds play through it, they would make their own noise, and also just playing it kind of sounds a little bit like the winds of pandemonium.
Okay. What is Serenity's morning action?
Sorry, give me a minute. I'd go. Is anyone else not act yet, or I still haven't
Well,
got
no,
all my stuff open?
I'm just making the list of what the actions are. I haven't actually done any turns.
Come
yet.
back to me if
Okay.
anyone else still has to go, because I have to just get reoriented.
So over the course, make an insight check, Mahogany.
Alright. Just 1 second. I think my insight's the exact same as my perception.
Need to take some pills.
13.
So what is Mahogany's...
14, actually.
14? Okay, what is Mahogany's internal response to these monks having latched onto him?
I mean, it seems as normal as anything else happening. Some days there are monks watching him, some days there aren't.
You know, some days all your friends get turned to stone. You know, some days they don't.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what I don't have open? Immiger. When we get this open, it will come right back to Riot. Faction headquarters. Oh, Immiger, please don't do this. What are you doing? Easter Sunday, I guess Immiger is crumbling under the load of everybody uploading their family photos. I don't celebrate Easter. I celebrate discount chocolate the day after.
I
Right?
was about to say, yeah. Just like Halloween, you get one of those. You get one of those in November too.
Riot. You go to the fest hall.
Yep.
Riot's been here before.
So, what's the plan? You're just going to go in and start asking around of random people, just describing discordance?
Yeah, pretty much. Ask if anybody's seen her around. And I'll mention she's a sensate.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
Okay. Let me remember what my investigation is. Okay, here we go. That's an 8.
You learn that somebody matching Discordance's general description has been seen on the grounds, but nobody is really affiliated with her. Nobody paid much attention to what she was doing or where she was going. So nobody's able to clarify for you what her business was at the fest hall. But just knowing that she's a sensate, it could be any number of things.
Yeah. Let's see. Can they say where they saw her? Where she was seen?
Right here in the common areas. Because remember, you're not a member of the faction, you only have access to. Like,
yeah,
some
I
of
was
these
trying to figure out
public
where the common areas were.
Let me think here. Probably like outside in this courtyard, inside this like main hallway area here. Some of these lecture halls and places would be open to the public. So most of this main red wedge here.
Okay.
And then for some certain performances, they would open up the performance halls for the public as well. There is also a public sensorium.
Down here, this one.
Down there? Yeah, this area here is also open. The public sensorium. There's a more exclusive private sensate sensorium on the north area.
I have a question, Brick. What is this right here where they seem to be like... I just recognize Easeguard. So, like, are these all... Here's Mechanus. What are these?
I would have to look in the book and find out. So, because Mahogany's not a sensate, I don't feel any real obligation to answer that question anyway. Mahogany would not know those rooms exist. But yeah, something, probably performance chambers involved with all the different planes. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, just walking the grounds, out in the outdoor gardens, walking through some of the main areas, catching people coming in and out of lecture halls. But again, they've just seen her traveling through the public areas. But she's definitely been here, or somebody fitting her description.
Let's see. In that case, if she's been here, I'm gonna go outside the fest hall and find. I don't know if this is exactly what the touts do, but I just want to pay a tout to see if to hang around and say if they see her, bring word to me at such and such location.
That's not what a tout does, but for enough money, a tout will do basically anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how much are you willing to pay a tout to do that?
How much have I even got? Let's see. I'll give him... $30 copper.
Okay, so 3 silvers.
Silvers.
All right. Yeah, for 3 silvers, he'll do it, but he can only watch the one main entrance of the building.
And I said that's fine. I'm like, I don't think she's going to use the other ones.
Yeah, he says he'll watch for a couple of hours, and if he finds her, he'll come and see her, find you. And where do you tell him to report to?
Mahogany shop.
Okay. Kelian, what are you getting at level 5 as an assassin?
Uncanny dodge. And increased proficiency. And an additional die on sneak attack.
You spend the morning and into the afternoon practicing your dodge rolling, getting that Dark Souls timing down. Sometime right about the time of day when you're about to break for lunch, you're figuring you've been working all morning, you're getting more you're more comfortable with the level of skill that you've been fighting at. You feel like even though the party didn't go the way you wanted it to, you feel like just coming out of it with your neck intact was history's greatest treasure. And you're just about to break and go down to your old house, which is now a restaurant, for lunch, when there's a rap at your front door, or at your room door.
I'll open it, sure.
And standing there is a beautiful elven woman. And you're taken aback just from the radiance coming off of this woman. She has gorgeous bronzed skin. Her hair is a very deep red color, and her eyes are as well. She's wearing light armor. And what kind of weapon did I give her? Strapped to her back, you've seen this because Serenity has the same kind of situation, but strapped to her back, she has a large case in which she has 4 javelins. And as soon as you open the door, before even acknowledging you, she kind of peers her head into the room and looks back to just scan the room to see if anybody else is there. And when she sees the rest of the room is empty, she says, "Am I honored to be standing in the presence of Kelian?" You laugh at her?
Yeah, Kelian lets out a little chuckle and he says, but of course, who might you be, my beautiful lady?
And
I was trying to think of a good line and just wasn't even ready. So.
the main physical difference between this woman and other elves Kelian has seen, and Kelian's mostly only seen half-elves, is that most of the half-elves you've seen have like a slight point to their ears. Think like Legolas, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This woman has, we're talking like Record of Lodos War elf ears.
Jesus.
They're
Okay.
long and they come to a point, and they're curled back around her head slightly. But she offers out her hand. She clutches your hand in both of hers. And says, "My name is Lesglin, and I've come to offer you a business proposition. May I come in?"
Lady? Of course, Lady Leslin. Of course.
She comes in the room and finds the least uncomfortable surface to sit on. And glancing around,
You'll have to forgive me. Times are a little tough right now.
do you have any glasses or goblets or anything like that in the room? Has Kelian been drinking?
Yeah, probably.
She motions to the
In
glass.
fact, they've probably been used, so he probably just wipes them clean with a bed sheet or something.
She motions.
He wasn't expecting anybody. Give him a break.
I just really like details of Kelian's squalor.
She
Well, he
motions.
has to save up that money for something good.
She motions to the little used cup on the table that has the last flat, drops of whatever swill Kelian was drinking the night before, sitting next to the now empty bottle, or bottles. I don't know how heavy he was going. So yeah, she motions to this. You're starting to clean out this glass with a bedsheet, and she scoffs and said, "You're going to want to wash that out with soap and water before we talk. Just perhaps send for one of the boys upstairs to bring up water."
Kelian let out a Cheshire grin and says, "Of course. Absolutely." And he does that.
And as you're leaving, you see her pulling a flask out of one of her pouches. After a few moments, the guy comes up with a basin of water. He cleans out the glass and supplies you with another couple of fresh ones. Clearly, this busboy from the typical Prince Inn is under the impression that Kelian's about to score. So he's very cooperative. Like, he's got your back, bro.
Yeah, I'll flip him the silver pieces.
Okay. She opens the flask, and as it does, you can smell the wine in the air. You can already smell the scent of wine in her perfume that she's wearing. But after she opens this flask, it becomes very strong indeed. And she pours out a little bit into your cup. Only fills it about a third of the way. And she tells you, savor that. That's 10 gold worth of drink.
Yeah, Kelian does as instructed.
Dang.
The flavor of the wine is nothing special. I mean, it's good, but it's not $10 a glass good. What happens, though, is after it goes down your throat, you feel it burning all the way down into your stomach. And for a moment, like, have you ever been on Vicodin?
Oh, yeah, I have.
That initial rush when it first hits you, the wine gets to your stomach and it fills you up with this warmth. Oh, you know what? I gotta restart tabletop, don't I?
Yeah, I can't connect.
Yeah, I can
Yeah, I
connect
can
either.
My bad. I'll do that real quick.
I've just been listening to dun dun.
I'm sorry. I'll fix it. Okay, we're
So this has all sounded very Christmassy.
beautiful. Yeah, the drink settles down in your stomach and it fills you with this warmth and that euphoric, just eye-rolling, I could die right now and it'd be fine. That only lasts
probably
for
going to.
that only lasts for a few seconds. It's not that it's a strong drink. It doesn't. It's not unpleasant at all. But you can immediately tell. I understand why people would pay 10 gold for this.
Gotcha.
And then your cup is empty, and you see her. She screws the flask back together, and puts it back in her bag. She asks you what you thought.
Very delicious, Lady Lesglin.
She says we sell that 30 gold for a glass, 170 for a bottle. Or is Kelian sitting down?
Yeah.
50,000 for a cask. We call it the 6th vintage.
Yeah, I'd say that's worth it.
She says, I've come to you because I think you have a set of skills that might be useful in helping you protect the secrets of making the 6th vintage. Would you be interested?
Kelian thinks about the gold he currently possesses and says, I'm listening.
She says, recently, when we serve this to the Civic Fest Hall, it's a context that I have inside the Society of Sensation, they gladly pay the 50,000 for a barrel. Aaron Montgomery being one of our largest consumers. But recently we've been informed by the Sensates that they have another contact with which to purchase the 6th vintage. They're buying it from a tavern called the Lucky Lion, in a place where I don't feel comfortable going. Have you ever been to Mount Celestia, Kelian?
Kelian makes a slight sort of uncomfortable gesture. Not that I'm aware of, no.
She says the Lucky Lion is in a town called Heart's Faith, which is one of the largest towns on the mountain. It rests at the base of the mountain, at the silvery shore. Trade from all over the upper plains comes there. The Lucky Lion being where it is and being owned by who owns it, I know he didn't steal it. I know he didn't kill for it. I know nothing unseemly or unsorted happened for them to come into possession of my vintage. But they came into possession of it nonetheless. I had some of my associates track down a caravan headed for Excelsior, the gate town of Mount Celestia, earlier this week. The idea being perhaps it was the merchants who were doing it. The merchants were double dealing somehow. I'm told that one of their bodyguards fought almost to the brink of death to protect that cargo, which struck me as odd. So I came to Sigil to look into this bodyguard, which led me to the Genasi you know as Serenity.
Oh, okay.
But Serenity's methods are too blunt.
In a manner of speaking.
Would not do to use a cudgel when a dagger is called for. So I want you to go to Heart's Faith, to the Lucky Lion, and find out what you can find. Tell me how they got information on how to brew the vintage, and if you can, stop its production.
Kelian mulls it over for a few seconds. Thinks about it. I'll do it on one condition.
And she bids you continue.
We have dinner together.
Now it's her turn to laugh. To chuckle a little bit. And she says, trying to not be very hoity-toity about it, but failing. She says, judging what I know of you and your companions, I doubt you'd be able to afford the places that I eat. But we should discuss the subject of payment, of course.
Of course.
What will you accept for this job?
Kelian's mode shifts from pleasure social into more business mode.
Okay.
He thinks about it and he mulls it over and he says, if you want to clean, it'll cost more.
And by clean, do I take your meaning that you're willing to kill this man?
If that is what you prefer, yes. But that would make this easier.
She holds her hand up and says, and shakes her head a little bit. Says, you should know then that I find that sort of solution to be detestable. If I wanted a sword, I would have hired a sword.
Kelian's heart breaked a little bit. But, for a successful mission, 6 plat.
Done. She agrees instantly, right away. It seems a little surprised that the price was so low.
Well,
But yeah, absolutely. She'll do it for 6 platinum pieces.
Kelian stands and offers his hand.
And again, she clasps it in both of hers.
But no dinner then.
Regrettably not.
That's too bad, because I have quite the voracious appetite. Especially when I see something that looks good.
As she says, and as for my
Delicious.
part...
Looks delicious. That's what I should have Damn!
And as for my part, I fear I don't have the stomach for Isgardian. And then she takes her leave.
Alright.
Serenity, what is your morning action today?
I'm going to go to our little hidey hole with the broken rat neck,
Okay.
and I'm going to bring with me a bit of sack or something like that. And is there any light in this place if I don't bring my own?
There's not, no.
Here, back.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to pull out my magical maul. And at this point, it's shedding light correctly.
Yeah, now it's very well lit.
Now, if I cover it up with the gun jack, does that make the area dark? Can I muffle the light?
Yes, you can.
Excellent. So after discovering that, I'm going to go to the marketplace, commission someone to build me kind of a leather covering that I can wrap around the handle. Could quickly turn the light off if I needed to.
Sure. Yeah, easy enough. You can get that accomplished, we'll say, for 2 silver pieces.
Okay.
Find a leather worker in the bazaar.
Yep. Do the in-depths still trouble getting into the bazaar?
It seems that they're more organized with the checkpoints, where the first few days after the proclamation, it was mostly kind of strong-arming all the streets coming in. Now they're just, you definitely can tell that in-depths are keeping a close watch on who's coming in and going. But at this point, there's no more barrier to any kind of trade. You do notice, though, that there are no harmonium patrols within several blocks of the bazaar, which does strike you as odd. You've never seen that kind of situation.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Before.
Obviously, they're the in-depths, so there's probably no one in charge, but I'll ask, like, just one of the... Whoever I'm buying the leather work from will ask, is there a reason the hardheads aren't out? Did you guys throw them out?
Well, last week, remember, I explained that there were skirmishes in the bazaar?
Right.
And they were dead on both sides. There were in-depths and harmonium. The harmonium were trying to seize a silversmith's shop in the bazaar that's owned by Brya, who is kind of unofficially being called by other factions the new factal of the in-depths.
Right.
She charged into the Hall of Speakers and wanted people released from prison who were held illegally, in her opinion. But the in-depths have kind of rallied around her. And now her whereabouts are unknown in her family's shop. The harmonium has not been able to get close to it.
Okay.
So you hear variants of that news as you ask about it. But as far as the in-depths are concerned, the bazaar is better off without harmonium tromping around anyway. So yeah, a couple hours of work. They managed to get that situated for you. So what you're saying is you want like a leather strap affixed to the maul itself with like a hood you can throw over it?
Yep.
Okay.
That way, if I need to, I can make it dark.
Everybody but Destil, how evil should I be right now? Like scale of 1 to 10.
I would like to see a 7.
A 7? Damn. Now, you're only 7. He made you go to Pandemonium, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, fuck that guy.
10.
Yeah, man.
Is 11 possible?
Destil, because this is kind of a strange modification for weapon, I'm going to apply the same drawback that Kelian has on his repeater. If you roll a 1, the strap's going to break.
Oh, that's fine.
And then you'll have to come up with some other solution.
Okay.
That's all. That's the maximum evil I'm willing to go on something like that.
You'll have to convince Riot to cast Mending.
The leather sack is actually a bag of teeth, and it just eats your head when you sleep. Would that be an 11?
That would be the 11, I think.
I think around 11 is, oh, Eldov, don't you want to use your magical healing stone? Oh, yeah, you're right.
That was good. Good times, good times.
Alright, so... Riot, afternoon action.
What about my action?
You're leveling up.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was your action, is leveling up.
That was your morning action.
I mean... okay.
Let's get some eye of the tiger. Let's get some Ching meat. Gosh, here.
I was just like, you press Kelian on his.
That's because
what
I gave
he's doing for
Kelian's
leveling.
storyline. His plot hook kicked
Okay.
into place. Yours hasn't yet.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright, then.
LC Clone, what would you like to do?
Never mind then. If that's what you're going for, then fine.
I have a story hook here for you. Do you want to go next?
Well, I mean,
Well, what's,
Yeah, you can go next.
What's your afternoon action, LC Clone?
what's my afternoon action? Honestly, I didn't have one. I hadn't thought that
Oh
far
my
ahead.
god. So,
All right, Riot's
Here's-
afternoon action is she goes to Mahogany's shop to talk to him about the lead she got.
okay. What is Serenity's?
Serenity's afternoon action is going to be going to the gymnasium and just practicing.
And what's Kelian's?
Dolphinder has been decent, right?
Yes,
Yeah, Dolphiner's been
Kelian
doing
would,
she's convalescing.
Kelian would like to see Dolphinder.
Okay. Mahogany, are you just going to be working in the shop?
Yeah, the stuff going on here seems like the most interesting thing possible for Mahogany right now, so...
Alright, I can't put it off anymore, Ciclone. I gotta know your afternoon action now.
No, that's fine. I was waiting for you to call back on me. Okay, I gave you a little more time to think. All right. No, I'd love to actually go to Mahogany's shop again.
Okay.
End up running into probably end up running into Serenity as well at that point.
You see now why Mahogany's used to people showing up at his shop and staring at him?
Because this is life now.
Hey, you skipped my turn. I want to do something. Oh, I didn't actually have anything to do. Sorry. That's my new favorite thing. We're going to start with Serenity. So let me get the gymnasium up here. So you're going there, you're going to try to find like a sparring partner?
Yeah.
Cool beans. Where's my NPC list? There it is. One of your kind of consistent sparring partners is a human. Male human named Samim. Samim's favorite weapon is the Great Axe, which is kind of why you like him as a sparring partner, because his entire motif is just brute physical strength. He's the kind of guy who'll go into a fight and he'll end it with one solid hit. And your thought is dancing around that one solid hit, or even just catching it and throwing it back with your own strength, is a great way to train. So Samim is there this morning. You also know Samim because he has a room across the street in the tenement that he occupies from time to time.
Okay.
And as you're sparring today, Samim asks you what the deal is with the Hardheads.
What do you mean?
They came around, questioned the Gruffler about you this morning.
I mean, I dealt with them before, but seemed amicable enough.
I don't know that amicable is the word I'd use to describe what I saw this morning. The Gruffler all but had to throw them out of the building.
Serenity does not look happy in response to that. Did he mention what they asked for?
He says, I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, I just saw it momentarily as I walked through the lobby.
Thanks. I'll finish up the sparring and go talk to the Gruffler.
Okay. Roll the hit.
Actually, first I'm going to go talk to Ronoth and ask if they've asked about me here in the gymnasium.
Okay, but first roll the hit. I want to see if you knock his ass on the ground or he knocks your ass on the ground.
Sure. Just fixed all my attack bonuses from leveling up.
You just got to beat a 12.
I've got a +8, so...
Yeah.
5 or better.
But does this count as an initiative roll? That's what we're figuring out here.
Eventually I can act while surprised as a barbarian. Yeah, I hit him.
Okay. So you tell him, thanks for looking out. You're going to go talk to the Gruffler. And just before you do, you knock his ass on the ground.
But yeah, I'm going to go actually talk to Ronath and see if they've given them any trouble here.
Ronath doesn't know anything about any harmonium coming around the gym.
Then yeah, I'll go check with the Gruffler.
The Gruffler's not happy to see you when you come in today. And he says, even before a word comes out of your mouth, he kind of points accusingly at you. Says, are you bringing trouble into my premises?
Not intentionally. Apparently, maybe... I don't know, what did they want?
Looking after you and your whereabouts, trying to compel me to bring you in. Something about it's my responsibility as your landlord. Is that how you see this situation? I'm your landlord? Am I responsible for the trouble you get in?
I don't know why they didn't just come and... fucking our heads. Okay. Okay.
Well, in any case, I turned them away, and if they hadn't gone, I'd have thumped them first.
I'll go to my room, get my stuff. I think I usually keep much there, really.
Okay. You go up and get the, half-eaten oat biscuit that's left on a plate.
Yeah.
And the plate's not even yours to
out.
begin with. The plate just comes with the room.
I'll just clean the place out a little bit. And I'll tell the Gruffler that if they come out looking for me again, you can just tell them I've not staying here anymore.
And he just nods in response. Where does Serenity head after that?
I'm gonna head back to that hidey hole.
Back to the hidey hole?
Yep.
Put down your plate and half-eaten oat biscuit?
Yep.
You're officially moved in.
That's basically it. Is there anything I need to do to make it accommodable? Bedroll, anything like that?
There were already bedrolls and some furnishings in here.
Okay.
I mean, everything that was down there when you were fighting Diller and his men were still down there. So you got, racks and tables. There were some supplies down there, some foodstuffs and whatnot. Rushes for the floor.
Yeah, she'll just set it up a little bit more to her liking.
Okay. I want somebody in chat to keep track of how many rat necks have been snapped. I think we're up to 5 now.
What I want to know is, what are you doing with the rats?
I was actually going to go and, is there a culinary guild or anything like that?
Sure. Absolutely.
I want to go get some recipes for a rat.
Is that what you're going to spend
That's a good answer.
Your evening action
Yeah, that'll
on?
be the rest of my evening action on.
Wow.
Just... Here in Sigil, we use every part of the rat.
No, obviously.
To not
The
do
noble
so
Serenity.
would just be barbaric. Kelian, you present yourself at the prison.
Yeah, asking for Dolphinder.
I just want the record to show
If
that
I can visit.
Kelian
Oh,
just
I guess.
willingly went to the prison. I did not even have to arrest him. He just went.
I know. Imagine
Just
that.
going, just going, man. Maybe he isn't chaotic neural after all.
Maybe he's signing up.
The prison, of course, is closed to the public. So you present yourself at the gates and ask after Dolphinder. So you're allowed into this little lobby area here. But that's about it. That's as far as
It's fine.
you're allowed to go. And what do you tell them? That you...
I'd like to see Dolphinder.
And the two guys that you're talking to at the gates, they don't know who that is. They talk to a few people who don't know who that is. And eventually somebody recognizes the name and recognizes her predicament that she was here convalescing. And after 15 minutes of waiting or so, Dolphinder comes out. And you see she's not dressed in her armor. She's just dressed in
Right.
a simple cloth tunic. And she still looks weak.
Mm-hmm.
But she sees you.
Okay.
And you're not her favorite person in the world.
I can't imagine why.
After she asked you to get a handle on this crazy group of adventurers and you shut her down.
What are you talking about?
But she's not discordial. She tells you good afternoon. Is there more? And she lowers her voice a little bit. Is there more Aunt Nancy situation?
Not right now. I was checking up on you, see how you were doing. Who else is around? In
Just
terms of like
various mercy killers. You're
Is it-
standing in the
is it
entranceway.
busy?
It's pretty busy. There's eyes everywhere
Uh-huh.
because this would be the main entrance to the prison, so it's very heavily guarded. All this little inset here where you see the entrance, all of these doors would have guards on them.
Okay.
And that's
Like, what I'm asking is could we have a sensitive confirmation without people either eavesdropping or pick up on it or anything like that?
she looks a little nervous and leans in close to try to mitigate being overheard. She asks, "Why did you bring this to me? Is this something that nobody else can help with? Are you absolutely sure this can't wait until I'm better?"
It can, but... And I want you to know, nothing deceitful.
She asks the name of the place. Oh no, she doesn't know that you don't have a place anymore. So she tells you she'll call on your place probably tomorrow.
About that. I tell her to meet me at the inn instead.
You're not gonna have lunch with her?
She
No.
doesn't ask why you're staying at an inn. But she tells you
if
she'll
you need-
call on you.
If you need a few more days, then we can 2 or 3, whenever you feel fine.
She says she'll call
It's
on you
okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. In
And
that case, I'm glad that see that she's doing better, and there's nothing else. I'll just take my leave.
But as you leave her in a very worried state and somewhat agitated.
I said nothing deceitful. Come on.
And then we
That's
got
good for his word.
everybody else at Mahogany's shop.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the time Riot and Ciclon arrive at Mahogany's shop, Mahogany's working on this set of instruments, and sitting nearby are 3 of these monks with the wooden Lady of Pain medallions. And they're just watching Mahogany work, and Mahogany seems in great spirits.
Talk my brow at the other guys, but don't really pay them much mind, and say, "Oh, hello, Riot."
How's tricks?
Be right back again.
How's what?
You know, what's the word?
Nothing especially new. I actually came to talk to Mahogany, but Nice to see you anyway. What's going on with you?
I've been trying to find follow up on that lead about discordance you mentioned. Haven't up hide or hair over yet, but day is young.
Yeah, well, I hope you find her because from what it sounded like, Pappy is pretty worried about her.
I'm sure she's fine.
She seemed like she could take care of herself.
And I'll say, hey, Mahogany.
Yeah, what's up? What's the chance?
What's the story with these guys?
Mahogany will
These
just wave
customers
around.
or what?
You know, seekers of knowledge, cultists.
Oh, is that a
Talk
thing
more
now?
about that. Cults? What?
There's always cult and sigil or two. Don't worry about it.
I didn't know you had one though.
I don't think they're my cult.
Well, they're here.
I'll look around at them. Are you guys my cult?
And the Genasi, again, she begins to explain about how, or she's explaining to Ciclon and Riot how Mahogany embodies many of the tenets of the cult of the jailer.
So Mahogany will turn to Riot and Ciclon while this is going on, just kind of wave his hand back and forth. It's like, kinda.
Anyway, I was hoping that I might, if you don't mind, if I could use some of your woodworking tools.
Mahogany will spread his hands and goes, help yourself.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna ask you, but might as well open it up to the floor. Any of you Burks ever heard of the blood called Bahamut?
Nope.
I will let Ciclon make a religion check at advantage.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Mahogany,
God's
you
that
can make a
thing.
regular religion check.
Oh, I still have tabletop muted from we were playing Werewolf. It's 16.
I got a 13.
Okay. Mahogany, you know that Bahamut is a god. That's about it. You know that Bahamut's one of the powers, but you've just heard the name in passing. Ciclon, you know that Bahamut is a greater power called the Platinum Dragon that is a patron deity of all good-aligned dragons.
And I'll say as much to the Riot.
I say, well, that's interesting. That's not exactly what I'd expected to hear, but apparently this Bahamut can solve our little problem for us.
Oh.
Are you considering converting to dragon?
I generally don't convert to anything. Not interested in following any god who tells me what to do.
Fair enough. I can understand that. I can respect that.
You know, there's a god who won't tell you what to do.
Oh yeah?
Have I talked to you about Lu? The god of excellence? Do you consider yourself to be excellent, Riot?
I like to think I keep my hand in.
Do you like doing interesting things? And then
Who doesn't?
telling other people about them?
That's the best part.
That's all Lu asks.
I'll think about it.
Basically, he just wants you to go out to the world, do awesome things, and then tell him about them.
And the three monks in the room are listening very intently to what Mahogany's saying right now.
And I'll turn to them and say, "You heard the man. Go out and do something awesome."
To which the Genasi replies, We are observing a master at work."
No, but you're
Mahogany
in
holds his
here.
arms out.
You're in here, and you're not doing anything. We need you to be out there doing something.
And the Genasi turns to the two humans sitting next to her, and she says, "Behold, the impatience of the unenlightened." To which the humans just nod.
I'll start gathering some tools together to start whittling out some scrap wood, some of the. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a Amaterasu's holy symbol.
Are you proficient
whittling it out.
in woodworker's tools?
Absolutely not.
Then make
Absolutely
a
not.
dexterity check at disadvantage.
Wow, not bad actually. 12.
12?
Yeah.
It's middlingly good. And it takes you on into the evening to get it done.
That's fine.
Once it's done, Mahogany will look at it and nod and say, "That seems about right."
And then I'll be attaching that to the extra prayer beads that I have that I have on. But, yeah, I'm pleased with it at least.
So is anything else happening at Mahogany Shop, or does that polish it up?
Right, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to tell you a little bit what I learned about Bahamut and why he's so important.
Mahogany will look at you questioningly.
But I'm not sure I can do that with the non-players in here. And I look at the cultists.
Mahogany will nod, and he'll head out the door. "Let's go get lunch then. Where's Kelian?" And
For all I know,
he'll
he's-
turn
no
to it
idea.
back, and he'll say, "Lock up when you're done."
For all I know, he's already there.
Now, as you stand to leave, the monks follow you.
Haha. Obviously known as a cat.
Mahogany, what?
And Mahogany will turn to them and say, "Sorry, guys, I can't do what I'm meant to be doing with you guys following me right now. Feel free to come back tomorrow, or when you're meant to be here."
To which the Genasi replies, "We can make ourselves unseen if that is your desire."